This week's episode is sponsored by Helio Gas Detection. Hey everyone, this is Letty from the Smashed in Skull Sessions. I'm joined by Kyle from Exhorder. Kyle, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you for having me here in Dublin.
No worries, and of course, welcome back.
Thank you. Nice to be back in the motherland, so to speak.
So, to our maybe younger listeners who maybe haven't heard of you before, could you introduce yourself and your role in the band?
Yes, I'm Kyle Thomas. I am the last remaining original member of Exhorder. I've always been the vocalist. I've been the guitarist since 2022. And we've got Sasha Horn and Jason Vibrooks in the band still on drums and bass. And Pat O'Brien as well on guitar. So that's it. We're a four-piece now.
Nice one. And of course, welcome back to Dublin. You guys were last over in 2019. Good to be back.
It is. That was a first for me. I had never been to Ireland with any band, much less with Exhorder. So always a bucket list thing with my ancestry being strong here. And I just remember it being an incredible experience. Made a lot of friends that I still stay in touch with that I will see some of tonight. So got to walk down to the city center today and see the Phil Lynott statue. That was really nice, really cool.
Did you take a picture with it?
Of course.
And what would some of your favorite Thin Lizzy songs and albums be?
Oh man, I love a lot of it. I really like the Bad Reputation album. I really like. But I like all eras of Thin Lizzy, really. I know a lot of people kind of tend to favor the earlier stuff, and then there's people who favor the Gary Moore era, John Sykes and all that stuff. To me, it's all kind of, Live and Dangerous is amazing. And, I don't know, Jailbreak's always been an ass kicker for me. I always really enjoyed that one.
Live and Dangerous is one of my favorite live albums.
It is really outstanding. Thunder and Lightning, yeah, really good.
So good. Cold Sweat.
Yes, Cold Sweat is really badass.
Did you do the Rock and Roll Museum in Temple Bar?
No, we haven't really had much time. I don't even know that we'll be here 24 hours. That's always the problem, is it's dip in, dip out.
Next time you're over, definitely do that, because that's like Phil Lynott kind of HQ.
I believe it.
They have a lot of his basses, a lot of the stuff that his mom donated.
Wow, even better. Yeah, I understand Miss Philomena used to invite people into her home and see the bass and all that stuff. That's really cool. That's amazing.
God bless her, yeah. And on the topic of Ireland, you're a proud Irish American, as you mentioned, like strong bloodline. Between Rory Gallagher and Phil Lynott, who would you pick if you had to?
I mean, I think they both got a little bit of extra sauce the day they were handing out talent, so that's a tough one. To be fair, I'm more familiar with Lynott's discography than Gallagher's, but Gallagher was a bad mofo, no doubt.
So it's a tie.
I mean, why can't we have both?
That's true. And you're currently on tour with Violence and Kuizar. How's it been going?
It's been going great. This is one of the most peaceful, smooth tours I've ever been a part of. There's no drama, there's no friction between anyone. That's a hard thing to do when you've got a lot of testosterone jammed into a tuna can. This time in particular, it's just everyone's helping each other out. Everyone's really got good juju on this. I'm happy, very happy.
That's awesome to hear. Everyone's just jamming out, playing tunes.
Yep. We hang out. We work together. Eat together. Wind down together. It's all a thing that could really create a difficult atmosphere if there was anyone with disagreements or anything. We just don't really have that problem.
That's good that it's running smoothly.
For sure. And the shows have been great.
Do you have a favorite moment of tour so far?
It's all been such a blur. Some shows stand out a little more than others. There were some shows on the Spain and Portugal run that were really wild. The fans are very, very active over there. Here, London was insane. I think that show might have been a sellout on a Thursday night. It was jam-packed. It was busy. But I'm also selling merch, so it's very little. I don't even have time to really look and see what's going on and observe it for what it is. I have to finish this job, then I have to get on stage, and then I have to get back to that job, and then I have to break it down and pack, load in, load out, all that stuff. It's busy.
You wear many hats.
I do. A jackass of all trades.
And you guys released your album Defectum Omnium? Omnium, there we go. It was released last year. How was the recording process for it?
Wonderful. It was agreeable. We did a lot of pre-production between me and Sasha and Jason. And when we got into the studio, there really weren't many question marks. We really had a definitive game plan as to how we wanted to approach each song. There were a few spots throughout the recording of it where some new magic happened, where we said, let's try this. Wait, I got an idea, and we felt like it improved everything. But it's really important. I can't stress to younger bands how important it is not to get married to the first idea that falls out of you, and keep throwing it at the wall to see if it sticks. And if it doesn't, chop the fat and get rid of it and take the best of it. Always look at it and say, would I spend money on this? And if the answer is no, keep working on it. And that's what we did this whole album. We just got rid of the stuff that was just more filler feeling material. I don't know. I think it's very important to work continuously on the songwriting process. And at some point you have to walk away from the recording. Otherwise it's never finished. But you do have to finally just say, okay, the song is done, and we walk away and let it be. And once it's released, then it belongs to everyone. It's no longer yours. So that's one of the hard parts about writing and creating, is you can always hear something later and go, I wish I'd have done that differently. But the less you have of that, the better the album is and stands alone, I think.
That's awesome. And do you have a favorite moment from the recording process?
It had been probably since about 2001 maybe, since I recorded on an album on guitar. So it was a long time coming. I had never recorded thrash guitar before, so that was challenging for me. So picking up on that challenge and trying to improve myself in a field where there are many wizards out there playing, there's so many people so much more adept at doing this perhaps than I am. So I'm just trying to not focus on playing catch up with them, and just trying to focus on being the best guitar player I can be. And to do that and sing at the same time is not an easy task, or tasks I should say, because it is multitasking. But it is probably the part about it that I enjoyed the most, was just once again having an instrument in my hands.
Was it hard trying to learn that skill of playing the riffs while singing? Or?
I started playing musical instruments when I was 8 years old in 3rd grade. So that early foundation I got made it a lot easier for me to pick up instruments. Sometimes doing the counter rhythm of vocals versus the rhythm of whatever you're playing. 'Cause a lot of players will ring out a chord and then sing over it, ring out another chord, sing over it, and there's nothing wrong with that, but our songs weren't written that way. They were written in a way where the singer wasn't playing the instrument. Yeah. So I had to really kind of slow things down. I had to slow the speed of the songs down and listen to where the mapping of the fingers was versus where the vocals were versus downbeat and upbeat and all that. It was challenging for sure. It still is.
Well, I'm sure it's satisfying when it all comes together.
Yes. It kind of like a bicycle. Once you got it, but it is definitely not an easy process.
Fair enough. And if you could collaborate with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be?
Man, there's so many. I would love to for the living. My two musical heroes, with as far as instruments goes, probably Bob Daisley and Geezer Butler. Both very strong bass players, good songwriters, good lyricists, and I started out on bass before I was a singer, so I never really wanted to be a singer. This just kind of found me by accident. So for two of my favorite bass players to also be so skilled at songwriting and being lyricists, I would love to collaborate with them in some kind of way. The list is long for the dead. I mean, where do you start? Steve Marriott, Randy Rhoads, Cozy Powell, I think, is no longer with us. I hope I'm not trying to kill him off, but what a drummer, my God. The list is long.
That's fair enough. Geezer Butler, he's probably one of my favorite metal bassists of all time as well.
Yeah, just so cool. And I think one of the first bass players to really experiment with the instrument outside of what it was expected to be in the 60s. He really pioneered that, almost like another guitar, but still staying true to the concept of the bass as an instrument.
But was it Embryo goes so well into like Children of the Grave? It's just so good.
Yeah, good stuff.
So good. Do you have a favorite musical moment from your life?
Yes. When I was 19 years old, I went to one semester of university, mostly to appease my parents. But I joined the chorale at the University of New Orleans, and my final grade was performing Beethoven's Ninth with the New Orleans Symphony, 2 sold-out shows at the Orpheum Theater, and standing with a full chorus behind an entire and complete symphony on a stage, no electric instruments, just all, orchestral, in front of a sold-out theater 2 nights in a row. It was absolutely an experience I'll never forget. It was amazing.
That's pretty cool, like going from the orchestra to where you are now. Like.
Yeah. Like I said, I have a pretty intense musical background. I had 5 years of private lessons on the trumpet. I took guitar lessons, bass lessons, joined the chorus in high school, so 3 years of choral training. So I'm actually an instructor now. I have a lot of students online and in person. And one of the most satisfying things for me is far more than the revenue it generates, just when I see something click for my student and see them start to get something. That's the payoff for me.
I find that myself as well. I'm a drummer.
Okay.
I can only play the drums. But when I get a part, like if I'm trying to learn a really hard part and then I get it because I learn by ear.
Yes.
When it clicks.
Makes you want to jump around.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
Sure is.
And in 2022, as you mentioned, you pick up guitar duties in Exhorder. Do you have a favorite Exhorder song to play on the guitar? Wow. All the hard questions, I know.
Yeah, they're all so challenging in their own ways. Legions of Death from the old songs, I think it's just one of the better structured songs that we had. And it's fun to play. I do a guitar solo in it. I don't do a lot of guitar solos, but I do one in that one, and I really like it. And as far as the newer songs go, Year of the Goat is such a fun song to play live. The people really connect with it. Divide and Conquer is another fun one. That's kind of a tricky riffing kind of song. So singing that and playing it's a challenge, but people like that song too live. So I get more thrill out of playing songs that people are connecting with.
That's fair enough, because you're feeding off of their energy as well as yours.
Correct. Yes, absolutely.
One of my favorite, one of the more modern Exhorder songs, "My Time Is Now."
Oh yeah, My Time. Yeah.
My Time,
Yeah. That's a good one. We play it live every time. It's a staple in our set now.
I've been playing it for my mom recently.
Yeah.
I get to interview these guys, and she goes, "Oh, they're very good." Like,
wow, that's cool.
We're on to our last question. Do you have any advice for anyone wanting to start a band in 2025?
Yes. Quit now and get a job. It's a trap.
Go to the orchestra instead.
Yeah, I mean, I would never want to crush someone's dream, but it's harder now to start a band from nothing. Whether you're a kid or whether you're a seasoned veteran trying to start something new, it's really hard to build from ground zero. But it can be done, and it's a lot of hard work. You got to pay a lot of dues. And just put your best foot forward and be very particular about what you're presenting as product.
Because I followed some bands from like ground zero, and all it takes is one thing, and the next thing they blow up.
Yeah,
it's mad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I see a lot of bands that are really good struggle intensely with trying to build, and then I see a lot of other bands, for whatever reason, something clicks for them and it starts growing quickly. So the market is hard to predict. It really is.
Same as everything, hard to predict.
Yeah.
Kyle, thanks for taking the time out your day to talk to me.
Very welcome. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
No worries at all. And Defectum Omnium is out now.
Yes, it is out now on Nuclear Blast.
Society to corrupt the end.